For the full story, follow me. Caution, rabbit holes ahead. October 1985, Puyallup, Washington, Pierce County, seated just east of Tacoma. Puyallup, named for the indigenous Puyallup tribe, once identified as the Valley of the Daffodils, known for growing hops, berries, and flowers. Now that we've had a little geography lesson, meet Mike Reimer. He is a local to Puyallup, a roofer, and a part-time trapper. A rather typical manly man of the Northwest, you could say. He knew the woods very well. After all, he grew up there roaming the woods with his dad. His dad was a game warden for the Washington State Department of Natural Resources, who passed his knowledge of the forest ecosystem, its wildlife, and the importance of maintaining balance to his son, how to care for the forest, and how the forest could care for him back. This is how Mike learned about trapping. Even though Mike was well liked by his peers and everyone had gotten to know him pretty well over the last 8 years, there was still a side of him that they didn't know, but then they didn't have to live with him either. 36-year-old Mike had been dating 20-year-old Diana for the past 4 years, and together they had a 2-year-old daughter named Crystal. Now, it was no secret, really, how tumultuous their relationship was. They were on again, off again. He would be violent with her sometimes, and she would kick him out, and then she'd take him back, and it was just back and forth and back and forth. Very, dysfunctional. And this was going to be one of those off again times. On October 19th, a storm had brewed between the two of them, and Mike, with his short fuse, went raging over to her apartment and became further enraged at not being allowed in, so he fee-fi-fo-fummed and huffed and he puffed and he blew her door down. Well, he kicked it in, actually. And it ended up causing her injury, and there was a scuffle, and the police were called, and he scored himself a ride in a police car with some not-so-kinky handcuffs. He had been released with a court order for no contact with Diana, and he was to see a psychiatrist regarding his anger issues. By all accounts, he was compliant with the court orders he was given, and he did go see a counselor, and his counselor gave him a prescription for a benzodiazepine called Ativan to calm his anxiety, which is also known to have side effects that cause more anxiety. But that's something that we're going to shelve for now, and we will revisit this a little bit later. And this is to be continued. We'll follow up on that Ativan shortly. October 26th, 1985, Saturday. Two hunters were out at the end of 8th Avenue South at the edge of the forest, as one would be like at the beach at the coast. Then one stumbles upon a skull. One who initially saw it picks it up thinking it's a bear's, but quickly realizes it is not a bear, it is human. The two call it in, and per the dental records, it was confirmed to belong to 42-year-old Ruth Cooper, the missing woman who had camped only about a mile and a half away with her fiancé, 27-year-old Steve Harkins, just 2 months earlier. A crew assembled and searched the area around 8th Avenue South. The thick brush that had rapidly overgrown during the late summer made finding her body challenging. Monday, October 28th, they had recovered her body and her purse, and they were both just 50 feet from where the hunters had come upon her skull. She had a long tube sock tied around her neck with navy blue rings at the top, with notably distinct knots. An autopsy was performed, and it was noted that there had been no intimate insult, and the ultimate cause was determined to be from a gunshot wound to the abdomen. A few things I wanted to mention is that Stephen drove truck for the Ed Hume Company, Ruth, a single mother of 5, and a crankshaft machinist. The two had been dating for 3 years, I previously had read too, but they had been living together for about 2 years. They both had aspirations and shared a love of the outdoors. Stephen's brother, Michael, recalls his brother was unforgettable in looks and personality and very charismatic. Details have been fragmented, and I came across one that I thought nothing of at the time, but I feel this may be relevant for later. There had been a man at the wedding reception only referred to as an unknown guest. Apparently, he was looking for Steve to settle a dispute over a motorcycle accident. The police stated that nothing ever came of it. Stephen and Ruth left the next day for the lake. But did nothing come from the incident? It's an interesting detail, so just set that to the side, but don't forget about it.
Baby,
Where's Mommy?